How might managers ensure they have high functioning teams in their organization? The use of teams in the workplace has increased sharply since the early 1980s. One reason for the great interest in team may be that the labor market is increasingly characterized by specialization and more complex tasks, which might make it difficult for one individual to solve the problem.
There is a notion saying that many heads are better than one, which implies that people working in teams have greater advantages than working individually. Because individuals have different backgrounds or coming from different cultures, can provide a pool of different knowledge and experiences. This shared learning characteristics allows individuals to correct each other's mistakes and individuals are able to build on each other's ideas. Decision made by a group can evoke greater commitment to it than one made by individual because more people feel a sense of involvement in the decision.
So, what is team effectiveness? A team can be defined as two or more people who work together and are dependent on each other to achieve a common goal. Effectiveness can be defined as the degree to which something is successful in producing a desired result. In the context of teamwork, it can be described as the degree to which a team meets or exceeds its goals in three main areas: task performance, team viability, and individual satisfaction.
In an effective team, the goal should be defined by collective performance between individuals rather than sharing information only. This usually generates positive synergy, and the accountability should be individual and mutual rather than just only individual, because each other can be interdependent. And the skills in an effective team should be complementary rather than only random and varied.
So, in addition to the internal factors that influences the team, there are also a lot of external factors that contributes to the motivation of team members. Um, Research show that effective team occurs in a team supportive context, which means that managers have a special responsibility when it comes to making sure that the organization support and facilitates team effectiveness. Hackman has done a lot of research on teamwork, and he mentions that there are three essential factors in which an organization influences team performance. So he starts by saying that that an organization should implement a reward system that encourages team behavior. In that way, each team member is encouraged to think uh, we instead of I. And the reward can be anything from monetary rewards to positive feedback or increased responsibility. But the important thing is that for the reward to work, it needs to be valued by each of the members and it needs to be big enough to have an effect on their actions. The other thing he mentions is that it needs to be a system for efficient information exchange. So the organization needs to make sure that the teams have access to premium information and the right resources in order to do the work they're assigned to do. Another thing the organization needs to provide is they need to offer education and training in team behavior so that in areas where maybe the team's members are not good enough, they will be offered to have training. It can be anything from updating of technical competence, but also the development of interpersonal team skills within each of the members.
Team members should understand the common goal and each of them should have a shared sense of purpose, knowing their roles and tasks they are assigned to. Self-efficacy is also important so that they believe in themselves to be able to complete their jobs. Conflicts should be maintained in manageable level by communicating with each other with mutual respect. The size of a team should be restricted within 10 people to avoid extent degree of social loathing. Mutual respect from each other is also important to enhance team effectiveness because when someone is respected by other team members, this conveys that the individual is valued by them, induces a sense of inclusion, and making individuals to contribute to his work.
As we mentioned, teamwork is about communication, coordination, balanced contribution, and mutual support. But how can we make sure these factors working well? We need someone who can control the monitoring and the group work. That is the reason why we need manager in team. There are a few important points about manager's function in team. Personal selection is quite important in this topic. I will explain it later. Set objectives for team. The managers have to set realistic and relevant goals for the group and decide what work needs to be done to meet those goals. This is ability to allocate work within the team to maximize the usage of the personal skills and the technical knowledge. Motivated team members. This point will be further explained by us later. Provided feedback to team members. Managers can assess individuals' work to find out who is doing well and who is need help. And this principle has been covered by Dina about the reward system. Once we know its manager can fix the problem immediately, manager and the team members can help each other to improve his work. So provided feedback is one of the methods to make sure everyone doing their best. And make sure all members work in the most effective way is the key to achieve a high performance team. There is an opinion that people are not equally suited to all jobs, and suggested that for matching people and jobs could have important organizational benefits. The main principles for personnel selection, the process is that job analyze to define a competence model and create a person specification, and then the job analyze information is used to decide which selection method to use to assess the selection criteria. The reasons for personnel selection are shown below. Firstly, fitting the job to the most suitable person or fitting person to the job. Secondly, reduce extra financial cost and time consuming for training. Thirdly, once find the right person, it will be easier for the team further development. According to Meredith Belbin, developed a model that has been particularly influential and which is still widely used by organizations. He observed teams in action and concluded that the teams made up of the brightest people did not necessarily produce the best outcomes, so that this led him to develop a theory of team rules. He argued a key factor behind effective team is the presence in the team of set people who each perform specified roles. Team members taking different roles to combine in a team in order to achieve high performance. For example, we don't need all members to be a leader in a group. That will be hard to control the team, as there are too many opinions and complicated orders. What we need is each of members take one specific role and does what they are supposed to do. Sometimes override the roles and the implementation of work is also important for a high-functioning team.
Another part of manager's role is to solve the problems in teams. And specifically, we are talking about social loafing and groupthink. These are the most significant problems in teamwork. In order to solve social loafing, managers will have to set specific goals for the team and individual members to achieve the particular task. And these tasks needs to be specific and challenging. The goal commitment part plays an important part as well, because the members have to accept the goal and to commit to it. So the employee will have to get them involved in the goal setting process. And the feedback, it should be given by managers to the individuals so that they can know their progression of teamwork. And self-efficacy provided by managers' encouragement will enhance their confidence and making the individuals to believe they have the ability to complete the task. And according to Theory X, people are inherently lazy, so managers have to provide financial incentives and punishments in order to motivate individuals to contribute their part in the teamwork. And in order to solve groupthink problem, it is possible for managers to establish impartial leadership in a group so that everyone will have a responsibility to be a leader and share their decision-making steps. They can also introduce experts in discussion and decision-making processes so that they can give instant feedback and instant responses if the team is thinking in the wrong direction. And finally, second chance meeting is another possible solution. After the first meeting, group members can go home and review if any doubts was appeared in the group thinking process. And in the second chance meeting, they can talk about the doubts as well.
In order to have an efficient and high-performance team, it is very crucial to motivate team members by the managers. In Adams' equity theory, managers would need to offer a fair amount in order to exchange the effort and time that team members would put in. In other words, offering a reasonable salary to team members could be a driving force to them to work harder and be efficient. Managers need to make sure that output and input must be balanced, or else it could lead to having a demotivated team members, where their output of effort and input of income are not equal. Maslow's hierarchy of needs can at least provide the basic needs that team workers would need, which would be from the psychological stage to safety stage. It provides the basic of food, water, employment, health, or property. It is a strong motivation to team members because team members will have to work harder in order to get up to the top of the hierarchy of needs pyramid and get to esteem or self-actualization stage. So managers can use this model to push and motivate their team members to work as a high-functional team. Once in a while, managers should also perform the expectancy theory model and provide some kind of reward to motivate the team members. Managers would need to make sure that their team members are capable to achieve the level of task performance, and acceptable performance can bring desired rewards that are valuable to them. Managers can use this intrinsic approach to motivate the team members, and the value of reward can influence the levels of motivation. If the level of task performance is incapable for team members to accomplish, no matter what the value of reward is, it would not motivate the team members. For conclusion, we have concluded that in today's workplace, tasks have become more sophisticated and people in workplace are more complex. We know that teamwork is mostly influenced by internal factors, but there are also external factors that should be taken into account, such as organization responsibilities. Managers also is a key factor in ensuring high functional team by offering supportive environment, appropriate rewards, getting a right person in the right job, or assigning specific roles to individuals.
With reference to our own team types, we are a self-managed and problem-solving team. We have the ownership of this presentation, and we have the power to make decisions regarding to the tasks. And the tasks we do were additive, so that individuals' work contribute to the overall performance of a team. And according to Belbin's role inventory, we identified there are several roles played by individual in our group, in our team, and they are team worker, coordinator, monitor evaluator, shaper, implementer, and complete finisher. Having these roles means that during the presentation preparation process, we maintain our team spirit and we could focus on our objectives and goals. Individuals in the team were encouraged to contribute and they were hardworking. And finally, the whole process was properly planned and errors were checked at the final stage of the presentation process. And because we are lacking of different roles such as plant resource investigator and specialist, some information and specialist information from outside the group may be missing. And because we don't have a plant role in our team, creativity has been reduced.